I've been employed for over the last 4 years as a HCA bank worker in an NHS trust. 3 years ago,
Sorry, what does HCA stand for?
Oh, beg your pardon. It's healthcare assistant.
Thank you.
Within an NHS trust. 3 years ago, I was sexually assaulted at work by a fellow colleague. I put a statement in regarding this to my line manager. Also told my line manager straight after the actual incident and was left on shift with this same person. So I now know that obviously that was not correct. Procedures weren't followed. We both should have been sent home and an investigation to follow and fact finding and witness counts, etc. But my main point now is that main manager at the time took it on as the line manager didn't deal with it and got rid and barred this person for the last 3 years. As of a few months ago, they decided, because they were so short-staffed, they would bring this person back, leaving me now out of work with ill health. As I say, because I'm a bank worker, I don't have any entitlement to sick pay. I've been forced out of my employment by no fault of my own.
Sorry, Stephanie, I just want to clarify the order of things. So they brought this person back and then you went off sick, is that right?
Well, effectively, they put him back on the rota, should I say, and I found out on the last shift that I worked there a few months ago by colleagues who were also concerned and told me that this person had been put back on. Obviously, the fear and feelings from the original incident all came back.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't want to ever work or see this person again.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it after I'd been told by my manager that they were barred.
Okay, and the person that put them... if you don't mind me asking questions, Stephanie, the person that put the harasser, I'll call it... Is it a him, the harasser?
Him, yeah.
The person that put the harasser back on the rota, was that someone who knew about the previous incident 3 years ago?
Yes.
Was it the ultimate manager who heard the grievance and said that you shouldn't be working together?
The same, because the line manager has to get permission off the main manager, who are the same staff working
people.
back
Okay.
3 years ago.
So you've now not worked
in my eyes, it was foreseeable.
Yeah, you've now not worked for a few months. I think I can guess why you're phoning, but just tell me what your question is for me.
It's basically, Daniel, as you can imagine, I'm now out of work with a loss of earnings through no fault of my own. I wish to raise a formal grievance, but my HR have informed me as a bank worker I'm not entitled, which I find disgusting.
Forgive me, Stephanie. Are you an employee, or do you work? Are you an employee?
I get paid by that trust.
Right. Are you an employee of the trust, or do you work through an agency?
No, I'm an employee of the same trust. I've got a contract that states I'm a HCA bank worker. Yeah.
Well, that's absolute drivel that you're not allowed to bring in a grievance because you're a bank worker, not a full-time employee. I mean, that's just... it's such nonsense. I don't know how anyone with HR could have the effrontery to come up with that unless they're a complete idiot. They're either a complete idiot or they're completely dishonest. They can't be mistaken about that. It's just too obvious for words. So
I have that in writing. I actually have that in writing of their reply from my first meeting off them.
And what's the date that they told you couldn't raise a grievance? How long ago did they tell you that?
This letter is dated the 10th of July.
Okay, so recent. Good.
Year.
Did you actually put in a grievance and they said no, or did you say you were going to put in a grievance and they said no?
No, I was going to put in a grievance. I got my Unison representative involved, and as I say, I believed my formal grievance was the date that I put my statement in of the incident back in 2019. I stated I wanted it on my personal file.
You've answered my next question, which is a union involved there? Unison really know what they're doing. They're hard fighters for employees' rights. I'm guessing that your union rep has said they're going to take this further.
They're trying. It is a bit of a battle over what's employment law, what's personal injury, etc. But my main concern is I've had this career block now because I was due to start university next month and progress from a HCA to a nursing associate. You know, it's a great achievement that I would have been getting.
Was the course to be paid for by the NHS Trust?
Yes.
And are they still going to pay for it?
No, it's been blocked because I'm not even in my place of work. So if you're not even in your place of work, you can't do that.
So there's several options here to think about. And you need to go back and discuss these with your union rep, Stephanie. Option number one is to resign and claim constructive dismissal because of because of a combination of them putting this man back on rotas with you and their refusal to hear your grievance. You would win that claim. You would so win that claim. The problem is that it's capped. It's capped at a year's salary. And that's not going to be enough to make up for the fact that you are losing the university place. So that's not an ideal thing to do. Option number two is to rely on the union to fight your corner and get a fresh grievance in. Don't tell them you're going to put in a grievance. Do it. Get them to refuse an actual grievance rather than just putting you off putting one in, and you're in a stronger position legally because they'll need, forgive my language, they'll need a bigger pair of balls to reject a grievance you've put in when you put one in than just writing to you and saying you don't have the right to put one in. And
okay.
But this should really be coming from your union rep. If you don't think your union rep is fighting your corner, just escalate it in the union and ask for somebody else. Ask for it to go off to the legal department at Unison, because I promise you, I know the lawyers at Unison. They really know what they're doing. And they will fight this one hard because this is appalling conduct by the NHS Trust, Stephanie.
I'm so glad to hear you say that, because you do feel like you're a little fish in a big pond when you're against them and they're telling you that you have no rights. It's not very nice.
Yeah, you are a little fish in a big pond, and the law is there to make sure the little fish get their rights enforced. Unison will be really good at this. It's what they're there for. If you don't have a great union rep, and it does happen even with the best unions, just get another one working on your case for you.
Okay,
all right, Stephanie.
So I can be assured of the compensation regarding the actual career progression, because that's the bit that hurts the most at the moment.
Yeah, I get that. Absolutely, that should take place. All right,
Stephanie.
Stephanie,
I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Will you call in again and let me know what happens in a few weeks' time or a couple of months' time?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, and good luck. And thank you for everything you've done, because I know how hard healthcare assistants work and, frankly, how little you get paid for it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that's really appreciated.
All right, Stephanie.
Really appreciate it. I love your show. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, be well, then I hope things sort themselves out. But it does sound like you're in a really tricky, nasty situation, totally not of your making.